Today we're going to be rebuilding a former Premier League team in Stoke City. They were consigned to the Sky Bet Championship at the end of the 2017-18 season, finishing 18th in the Sky Bet Championship. Overall, a very poor season. We're going old school, Tony Pulis ball back at Stoke, going into a classic 4-4-2, and we're going to have to find someone with 20 throw-ins. We're going to be playing direct football, we're going to be aggressive, and we're going to try and make the very most of every single dead ball situation. There is only a small list of honours at the football club, ranging from the Virtu Trophy to a Carabao Cup back in the 70s. Can we look to build on that, and can we look to get Stoke City back into the Premier League? We are setting up in the old school 4-4-2. It's the only way to fly if we're going to be replicating the Tony Pulis special. We are going to be looking to get the ball out wide and get it forward as quickly as possible. Looking to play very direct, but also making the most out of every single dead ball situation. And that falling hand in hand, we're of course going to be launching that ball, long throws into the box, hopefully wreaking havoc on the opposition. Seko is our best throw-in taker with 12, but ideally I would like someone to have that 18 and above to really make the most out of long throw-ins. In the first season, we are expected to finish just above mid-table there in 10th position, odds of 16-1, so maybe, just maybe, go on to win the league. With plenty of new players already joining the football club, it leaves us now with a zero transfer budget and a minus £40,000 in the wages. There are a couple of hot prospects here at Stoke. Maybe we can get them in and around the first team next year. Emre Tezgal, currently on loan at Crewe Alexandra. And the youthful, sprightly Ruben Curley, 17 years of age, centre midfielder. Maybe he could be one for the future for us too. We do have a very good squad to start this season with. However, with 2 months left in this transfer window, will there be some new faces coming in? Will there be some players to leave the football club? The season's upon us now here at Stoke. There was no more deals done in the transfer market. A couple of offers for some of our players, but nothing that really tickled our fancy. With a relatively successful pre-season, only losing to FC Porto, we are just about to kick off the campaign now at home against Swansea City. So we've just reached the winter transfer window, and just as you would have expected, plenty of wins, plenty of losses, plenty of draws, a real mixed bag so far this season. One terrible result was losing at home to Sheffield Wednesday. Absolutely shocking. We didn't play well. We come away with nothing. Losing away to Oxford, not really ideal. Some really quite poor defending. The ball's put back in, deflected, and it falls out to Romani, and we lose the game 1-0. It wasn't all bad. West Brom come into the Bet365 and we absolutely slaughtered them, scoring 5 on the day. Absolutely killer clean performance. We took on Birmingham City at St Andrews, and Donnelly with a strike to secure all 3 points in a 3-1 victory. So with 26 games played in the league, we find ourselves just outside the playoffs. However, we have hit some rather bad news here at Stoke. We've got some significant injuries to Johansson, Wilmot, Gallagher, and the list goes on. There was a couple of deals done so far in the January transfer window. Bae Jun Ho leaving the club for £300,000. Stephen Nzonzi was on a lot of money. He wasn't really playing as well as I would have expected, so we moved him on and he's gone to Brest for £275,000. But with a couple of outgoings, it means we could bring in one player, and we welcome in Sam McCallum on loan with an option to buy in the future. The main reason for bringing in Sam McCallum, he's got long throws of 16. He's really going to suit our game plan. With the Stoke squad still a little bit light in certain places, with only £10,000 in wage budget, I think it's going to be very hard to improve the squad any further. There is one player in particular I do want to bring into this football club, David Watson of Kilmarnock, solid centre midfielder, long throws of 19. It may not be this season we can bring a player in of this quality, but maybe next year could be our year. All that stands out for me is has a long throw. We need David Watson at this football club. Let's just keep on doing what we're doing. We're going to work with what we've got regardless of the injury crisis. Let's kick on. Hopefully we can finish this season very strong. The end of the season now is fast approaching. With 42 games played, we are sat in 6th position. But our next game is away at Middlesbrough, who are 7th and only behind us on goal difference. We were leading 2-1 late into the game, but forced with an equaliser, the game finished level 2-2. But that draw does still see us sitting in 6th position with 3 games to play. The last 3 remaining games for Stoke City to play: Millwall at home, Norwich away, finishing the season with Wrexham at home. Can they dream of a playoff finish? In a closely fought game at Carrow Road, the corner comes in, Baker retrieves the ball, puts it back to Cresswell, and we snare ourselves into a 1-0 lead. But Norwich didn't give up, and just before the 70th minute mark, Jurasek with the equaliser, 1-1, and the spoils are shared. With 1 game left to go in the Championship, we are ahead only on goal difference of Middlesbrough. Their final game sees them go to Swansea, who are fighting for their lives at the foot of the table. Meanwhile, we take on Wrexham, who are already safe. We took on Wrexham and they snuck themselves into a 1-0 lead, but we fought back. Equaliser from a dead ball from Gibson. Just after half time, some battling play by Swordborough Thomas on the right hand side, swings it in, and Divine Mabama was there to give us a slender 2-1 lead. With the game still in the balance, Thomas swings one in, Phillips at the near post, and what a surprise, goal from a dead ball, 3-1, victorious, and we finish in 5th position after 46 games. With this long direct football, we was potent, 83 goals, finishing in 4th position in overall goals scored. And just as good as we was going forward, we was also very solid at the back as well. Joint 6th, only conceding 55 goals across the course. And with us securing that 5th place finish, we now take on Leicester City. The first leg will be at home, and the second leg we travel to the King Power. In the first leg at home, unfortunately, we lost by 1-0. We had it all to do in the second leg at the King Power if we've got any chance of getting through to the playoff final. So with it all to do at the King Power, we needed a good start, and we didn't. Harry Winks with the opener. And it went from bad to worst. Broha running through on goal, slides it past Johansson, 2-0 on the night. With time ticking away, we needed to push forward, we needed to get back into the game, but it was Leicester again. Broha, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, puts it away. Surely there's no way back for us. On the 76th minute, we did manage to claw a goal back. Wasn't enough over the 2 legs. Baker with a ball at his feet puts home a tidy finish, and we lose the tie 4-1 in aggregate, and unfortunately crash out of the Sky Bet Championship playoffs. To get into the playoffs in the first instance was absolutely magic. Did I think we could beat Leicester over 2 legs? I didn't, and that proved to be the case. The majority of the squad definitely played above their actual levels for this season. Superb season, but we know there is a lot of work still to do. We will be losing Mabama, McCallum, Donnelly and Phillips at the end of this season, all going back to their parent clubs. And we are going to have a decent budget to try and work with next year. Apparently, we're getting just over £10 million. So with what should be a handsome budget in the transfer window, can we spend it appropriately? Can we spend it well? And can we improve this squad and maybe go one better than the playoff semi-final this year? After last year's successful season, but ultimately falling short in the playoffs, we're predicted now to finish 12th, so down a couple of places, and our odds have changed from 16-1 to 18-1. The board expectations haven't changed, and they would like us to get a top half finish once again. Some of the outgoings from Stoke were starting off with Sam Gallagher heading over to Germany for £230,000. Nikola Jojic didn't really feature for us last year. We sold him on £2.2 million to Spezia. The third player to make their way out of the club is Lewis Baker, also heading over to Spezia in Italy for £69,000. We managed to get some early signings through the door, and it was the man we wanted, David Watson, joining from Kilmarnock for £5 million. A very good young talent, but we wanted him for them long throws, now at 19. The next player through the door was Amari Kellyman, joining us on loan from Chelsea for a season. Strong, young, powerful. I'm sure he's going to be a very good addition to the squad. We start as we mean to go on, and we wanted an experienced, big, strong centre-back. We welcome in Jamal Lascelles. He left Newcastle on a free transfer. He's on £21,000 a week. but offering us that much needed quality at centre half. Up next is Connor Barron, the young Scottish lad. We've brought him in for his dead ball specialities, penalty taking 16, corner taking 15. He's got a bright future ahead of him, and he cost us a mere £2.7 million from Rangers. At the end of the season, Aaron Cresswell, our best left back, decided to retire, and we have replaced him accordingly, bringing in Cal Naismith on a free transfer. He's experienced, he's big, he's strong, and also an absolute specialist from dead ball situations. Picking up Keshi Anderson on a free transfer from Birmingham City, offering us a little bit more cover in the wide areas. The young lad from Aston Villa, Caden Young, another wide player and another player with bags and bags of potential. Super happy with this deal. Even though we've brought in Cal Naismith at left back, we needed another player to fill in just in case for bans for injuries, and we welcome in Escudinha on loan from QPR, another young lad with a bright future. And the final player into Stoke City is Mike Penders on loan from Chelsea. He's a backup goalkeeper. He's not going to be in the first team, but does offer us a little bit of cover if we need him. So with our summer transfer business now more or less concluded, we can see the additions in the first team of Naismith, Lascelles, Watson in that box-to-box role. With still bags and bags of quality now all the way through the Stoke City squad. We now have our new dead ball specialist, Cal Naismith, on corner taking duties and on free kick taking. And throw-ins now, we have Watson absolutely ready to launch the ball into the box. With these new additions in the squad, we can say it's definitely reason to be excited. Are we really going to master the dark arts now? We're going to be tackling people hard. We're going to be launching balls deep. We're launching our throws. Any single dead ball situation now, we are dangerous. With this new look Stoke City team, we are about to kick off the campaign. Could we dare to dream of going one better than the playoff semi-final this time round? So far this season, I think it's going a little bit better than anybody could have anticipated. We headed to a very tough ground in St Andrews with a hostile crowd, but our players, they weren't deterred. 3-0 victory, 3 points on the board. Following up that fantastic win at Birmingham City with a home win against Watford, a 4-3 win against Derby County. We then travelled to Elland Road, a very difficult place for most teams to come, but not for us this year. 4-0 on the road. What we are seeing so far from the lads is nothing short of extraordinary. With us exceeding all expectations so far this season, after 27 games we find ourselves in second place. So we're just past the turn of the year. Are we in dreamland, or is it going to turn into a nightmare in the second half of the season? So with 44 games under our belt, we do hold that second place position. Playoffs is guaranteed. But with Leicester only 1 point behind with a superior goal difference, we need to get a result away at Sheffield United while Leicester head to Blackburn Rovers. But then in the last game of the season, Leicester host Preston North End, whilst we welcome Swansea City. We headed to a packed Bramall Lane where really we could have done with 3 points. We get off to a fantastic start with a goal from Caden Young. With nearly 19 minutes played in the game, Naismith bangs a long ball forward for Kellyman to run onto. He gets his head up, pulls it back to Manhoff, ball swung in, and Bozanic was there to give us a 2-0 lead, and that's how it finished in the end. Whilst we got our job done on the field, so did Leicester City. So after a long hard season, 45 games under our belt, there is one more game that's going to be the difference maker between glory and despair. With the last game of the season about to be played, we hit some terrible news. Bozanic and Amari Kellyman both picking up injuries. With time ticking away at the King Power, Leicester needed a goal, and unfortunately they got it. Edouard getting the opener, and that's how it finished 1-0. We know what we have to do now. With all the pressure on us this afternoon, it was a cagey opening start to the game, but with some great play down the left and a good cross into the box, it was us with the opener. Just after the half-time whistle, we make a good break down the other end of the field and Manhoff doubles our lead. We were looking comfortable at 2-0, but approaching the hour mark, Barnes gets a goal back for Swansea. With the pressure mounting and mounting, we needed someone to relinquish that pressure, and Sawborough Thomas puts a great ball into the box. Lowe was there, restoring that 2-goal advantage. With time ebbing away, we can literally taste the promotion, but we're not there just yet. It's 3-1, but Vidigal pulls the ball back to Wilmot that smashes it in from range. 4-1, that's how it ended. And Stoke City are back in the big time. So with promotion secured, we know there's a lot of work to do, but with a handsome budget of just shy of £38 million, we've definitely got room to manoeuvre in this upcoming season's transfer market. There are certain areas of the field we know we're going to have to improve. We've got no Omari Kellerman and no Caden Young for next season. And with an ageing Cal Naismith at wing-back left, I think we're going to need to invest in some more reinforcements. So what can only be described as an absolutely fantastic campaign. 2 seasons in, returning to the top flight. Make no mistake, this is going to be one hell of a rough ride in the Premier League. We're going to have to be smart. We're going to have to be shrewd in the market. What deals can we get done? Can we build a team ready to survive? It's been a busy old transfer window here at Stoke. Every single bit of budget we had, it's gone. We definitely need some cover in the centre half, and Aidan Heaven definitely will tick a lot of those boxes. We did let go Eric Bocat over to Cartagena, and the only other most notable outgoing, Ben Wilmot, leaving for a loan deal to Sheffield United. We welcome in Carlton Morris, an abundance of experience, a big nomadic striker, coming in from Derby County for just under £7 million. With the loan spells of Caden Young and Omari Kellerman coming to an end, we needed some more quality and cover in the wide areas. We welcome in Sakamoto, a very talented player coming in from Coventry City for £15 million. The steal of the transfer window, we welcome in Joe Aribo for £300,000. With us being very light in the goalkeeping department, we welcome in the Northern Irish international Luke Southwood, £550,000 from Bolton Wanderers. With Bocat leaving, it only left us with Cal Naismith at left back. We needed some more cover. We needed some more quality. We welcome in Aji Elise coming in from Sunderland for just shy of £15 million. Flynn Downs coming in from Southampton for £2.6 million, offering us experience and quality in the middle of that midfield. And a bold move in the transfer market on a free. Lawrence Shankland coming in from Hearts, the 30-year-old Scottish international. He knows where the back of the net is, and he could be a very good addition to our squad. So the Stoke team ready for this upcoming challenging campaign in the Premier League. The new boys are in there. Southwood in goal, Elise left back, Flynn Downs in midfield, and Lawrence Shankland hopefully forming a new partnership with Bozanic up top. We are predicted to finish 20th in the table. It's not looking good, to say the least. I think we can be under no illusions this year. Can we survive the drop? It's going to be very, very difficult. All we can do is hope for the best. We're sticking to our guns. We're defending deep. We're playing long balls. We're working it out from set pieces. Let's get this season underway. I'm not looking forward to this one. So the Premier League campaign is in full swing, and yeah, it didn't start very well. We headed to the Etihad and we got absolutely picked apart. We got thrashed 7-1. We didn't fare much better at Villa Park either, losing 3-0. After being outplayed for the whole of the game, we managed to snare ourselves our first victory of the season thanks to a close range finish from Bozanic. Since then, we did manage to pick up a few more victories away at Norwich, a fancy win against Newcastle, but some really dreadful performances against the likes of Arsenal and Manchester United. Any chance of a run in the Carabao Cup was short-lived. We got thrashed at St Andrews. So 11 games into the Premier League season, we find ourselves 3 points clear of the trapdoor. We did manage to bring in Aidan Heaven before the transfer window closed, and he's off to a very slow start. That Man City game had me questioning life, losing 7-1 at the Etihad. Not ideal, but we've managed to get a few points on the board over recent weeks. There's a long way to go in this Premier League season. Can we just keep our head above water and retain our place in the Premier League? The board have just given us just over £20 million to spend now as we head in to what could be a very important January transfer window. One particular position I want to improve on is going to have to be at right back. Junior Shamado, not really living up to expectations in the Premier League. And hopefully James Justin can be that player that comes in makes a difference and can help us on our way to survival. And 4 days later, James Justin has agreed to join us from Nottingham Forest for just shy of £16 million. Could prove to be a very important piece of business. It's the turn of the year, the 1st of January 2026. James Justin has joined us and is straight in there at wing back right and potentially now one of our best players at the football club. Just as you would expect from any Stoke City team, we have a real problem with temperament and controlling ourselves. Plenty of suspensions and plenty of injuries too. But exactly midway through the season now, and we are still only 1 point clear of the relegation zone, currently occupied by Luton, Norwich and Ipswich Town. It's been a long old season and unfortunately we're in the relegation zone. There's 5 games left to play, but it is very, very tight at the bottom. We have a game in hand over Wolves, who lead us by 1 point. We are going to have to scrimp and scrape to safety if we're going to get there. But our task has been made a hell of a lot harder. Elise out for 5 weeks and 2 months, season over. And our other left back, Cal Naismith, out for 3 to 4 months too, just when you think it couldn't get any worse. With 4 games left to play, it's still very much in the balance for us, Wolves and Leeds United. Leeds United have Brighton, Tottenham, Luton and a trip to Liverpool. Wolves still have some tricky fixtures as well. They're taking on Spurs, Liverpool and they have a trip to what could be already relegated Luton Town. But our fixtures aren't any easier. Liverpool at the Bet365. We've got Chelsea at home, but 2 very difficult away games at Brentford and Ipswich. So we've all got 4 games left to play. Who is going to come out on top away from the relegation zone come the end of May? Unfortunately, Wolves picking up a 2-1 win against Tottenham has put some real pressure on us now. And things took another turn for us. Leeds United picking up an unexpected win against Brighton at Ellen Road. But then, luckily for us, Leeds went to Tottenham, lost by 3-0. And Wolves went to already relegated Luton. And somehow, Luton come away with the 3 points. And with a little over 2 minutes to go, trailing 2-1 at home to Liverpool, Bosniak was there, the real hero just before stoppage time, earned us a very important draw. We travelled away to Brentford, scores were locked at 2-2. We were desperate for 3 points. Bosniak coming for on goal, 3-2 and 3 massive points for us here. In the penultimate games of the season, Leeds take on Luton, we take on Chelsea and Wolves take on Liverpool. It really could come down to the final game of the season. Somehow, 10-man Wolverhampton Wanderers beat Liverpool. They are surely now safe from the drop. But Leeds United suffering a shock home defeat, losing 4-1 to Luton thanks to a banger from Kovalenko. A win for us would have been magic, but unfortunately we lost 2-0 at home to Chelsea. And with 1 game left to play, we find ourselves in the drop zone and our goal difference could really go against us. Who would have thought it? It's coming down to the final game of the season. It's going to be everything or absolutely nothing. Everything riding on the last game of the season. Will it be Wolves? Will it be Leeds? Or will it be Stoke City relegated back to the Championship? With Wolves absolutely smashing Brentford 5-0. They're safe. It's either going to be Stoke or Leeds. Leeds were trailing by 2-1 at Anfield, but some good play down the left-hand side. Undié ties it up 2-2. This is not looking good. The scores were deadlocked at Anfield between Leeds and Liverpool, but Frimpong breaking into the box, pulling it back for Wirtz, Liverpool back in front, and that's how it finished. With Leeds losing, we only needed a point to survive, and luckily in this game, the crossbar was definitely our friend. We defended valiantly across the game, Manhoff putting himself about. Johansson in goal was absolutely stoic, but whenever Johansson was called upon, he was there. With the scores locked at 0-0, a draw was all we needed. A goal was so important. We need a hero, and guess who it is? Bosniak was there. 1-0. That's how it finished. And somehow Stoke City have survived, but ultimately condemning Leeds to relegation back to the Sky Bet Championship. We may have been one of the worst scoring teams in the league. one of the worst defensive teams in the league. But we did manage to win the most fouls, the most tackles won, most possession won, so at least we are decent at something. But with one of the lowest net transfer spends and the lowest salary spend in the entire league, I don't think we can really argue or grumble with a 17th place finish, especially when we was predicted to be absolutely tosh. When it comes to big game players, Bosnick chipping in with 17 goals, Shankland chipping in with 7, and our main man for creating chances this season, Sorba Thomas. So we have returned Stoke to the Premier League using a very defensive, very negative 4-4-2. We've gone full Tony Pulis ball. We didn't score many goals. We injured a lot of players, had a lot of red cards. We tackled, we fouled, we mastered the dark arts, and ultimately, like I said, returned to the Premier League. We've survived by the skin of our teeth, but it just shows you don't necessarily need to play a gegenpress to really win football games. Tony Pulis, football, is it back? Absolutely. If there is any rebuilds you want to see on the channel, let me know down below in the comments. I'll get them done for you as soon as I can. But it's been good, it's fun. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. This was the Stoke City 4-4-2 rebuild. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.